Hello, welcome to another recap episode of Outlast. This is the episode 7 recap show. I'm Alex, and I'm joined as always by Jen.
Hello.
And we're going to recap and give some behind the scenes information and reaction to the episode 7 episode titled Skyforce. I'm a little bit stuffy if it's not clear by now, so please forgive that in my voice. If only I had a nice soothing tea here with me right now.
I literally asked you all day if you need anything.
I'm just kidding.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Everything's fine.
Let's talk about episode 7 of Outlast. This is our merge episode, a monumental point in the game for everyone. Making the merge is many folks' goal in a game like this, or at least one of the secondary ones. And everybody here can say that they've done so, so that's exciting. And ultimately, the player eliminated. Obviously, if you haven't watched this episode yet, you should go back and do so before you continue. Hannah is the first eliminated player and the first member of the jury. And she will likely be joining us here later this episode. We've got a pretty good run here lately of getting the eliminated players on the show, and I expect that to continue. So you'll hear from Hannah herself later. Let's start with standout moments from the episode. Do you have anything in mind here, Jen?
I would say that merge moment was one of my favorites from the episode. Last minute, we whipped together a platter of cookies and treats, raided my parents' pantry at the cabin to find Rice Krispie treats.
Yeah.
We also brought some random Gatorade mix. So that's why they had room temperature Gatorade. Because we thought maybe they should have electrolytes.
Yeah, been a long day.
It's been a long day. It's been a long couple of days. So I really like that moment. It was also just like a fun, I don't know, or just like a relief to get to the merge and be like, okay, we're at a spot now where there's just one camp. It's less running around.
Yep.
And also, yeah, I think there is a moment where it's like, merge. And then it is the immediate moment after that where it's like the players are in chaos mode. So,
yeah. Yeah, from a production standpoint, definitely a huge, mile marker. And, yeah, it gets easier logistically when you hit the merge for that exact reason. You've got half the ground to cover, easier to cover what's going on. And yeah, you end up, though, with, the largest group that we've had all game. Like when we started in 2 tribes of 8, we're in a tribe of 10 now. So this is the most we've ever had on one camp. And yeah, players find out quickly it's tough to get all the ducks in a row.
yeah.
When there's so many players, especially so many that people haven't even, worked with yet in the game. I think I've got 2 things in mind. One is kind of this continued story of Isaac and Adam and Sky and their kind of continual back and forth of oh, we'll work together, and then one of them betrays the other, and then they're like, hey, sorry about that, let's try and do something this time, and then somebody does it again. And there's 3 moments like that this episode where coming off the last one, going into the vote, they were like, all right, well, let's work together. But then Emily and Isaac kind of backstab them, and then they pick up the pieces here after the vote. And then at the merge tribe, Isaac tells everybody about Sky's idol, and then Sky finds out, and so they're back again in a antagonistic relationship. So I think that's an interesting story to follow. I also think the Skyforce of it all is very funny. When I was out there hearing people start referring to Adam and Sky as Skyforce, I got a kick out of that. So yeah, I think all in all, maybe not the most shocking or, surprising episode, but some important stuff here for the game. Let's maybe start with talking about Hannah as the first member of the jury, talking about her game, maybe what goes wrong for her here at the merge. And yeah, just kind of talk about broadly the game she played. I think that, from the very beginning, she was kind of lumped in with Cody as these two powerful, smart players on the Orange Tribe that got a lot of heat really quickly. And I think that kind of followed her to this point. But like it's well earned in both of their cases. They both are very smart, very savvy, and probably wise by their opponents to cut them out of the game at these stages before they got too deep in and maybe had a chance to run things. So yeah, I think Hannah maybe goes to Tribal Council like the least of any player. I think her and Ty are tied for that. So we don't see a ton of her, but somebody who absolutely had like her was stirring the pot in different ways, and I just think that Cody vote really kind of left her without a paddle.
Yeah, and she also did well in the challenge, and I think people saw that or heard that, and that played an element of. I think original Orange, is just a mess.
Yeah.
At this point, and it's like Hannah gets to this and is like, yeah, who does she lean on? Who does she trust?
Yeah.
And at a certain point with these types of votes where it's merge, first person, it is easy to lean on choosing someone that's just a no-brainer, and no-brainer meaning like she's a high threat level,
yeah,
and she doesn't have many alliances at this point, and she poses maybe more of a threat than Isaac.
Yeah.
And the other option is Adam and Sky, and I think Adam or Sky, the idol is scaring people. Mm-hmm. And then also there's the element of Elizabeth and Abby wanting to keep Adam and Sky as a bigger target than themselves.
Yeah. I think Sam had a pretty big hand in that this episode too. You see him kind of relaying that information to Isaac and maybe Anna too.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I think that like I wonder if the new Green Tribe that Hannah was on, them not having a chance to go back to Tribal after the Cody vote, like, kind of hurts her in this case. Like, the last thing that happened was she was left on the outs of a vote. If they get another chance, it could be that she just goes out next, but maybe there's a chance then to, like, rebuild some connection.
Any connection at that point.
With the people on her tribe, and then maybe she gets into the merge a little bit more, with some protection or some relationships to lean on. But yeah, she's kind of like a prototypical merge vote in that she's seen as a threat. She doesn't have anybody else who's really going to bat for her in the way that just about everybody else in the game would have. And so, yeah, it kind of makes her an easy, like, okay, let's get one under our belt. It was pretty much a unanimous vote. The only person who didn't vote with the group was Ty. I'm interested in maybe, hopefully, at some point talking to Ty about why that is, if he just didn't get the memo, or if it was like a just-in-case vote that he put on Adam, or what. But, yeah, just it followed a lot of your expectations of what a merge vote would look like.
Yeah, I think it's just so evident how it's starting to show how much Green is staying loyal or they have much better ties to, and you can see them still playing with other Orange.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, but at the end of the day, it's another Orange who's going home.
Yeah, and it's a good point in that it's not like the green people are just staying, like we only are working with green. It's like they're bringing in, other coalitions, Adam and Sky or Isaac or Ty or whoever, to like work alongside them. They're better connected at this point, where it still feels like, they've got that core group to kind of rely on, whereas nobody else from the Orange group has more than maybe one person that they're really comfortable with. Mm-hmm. I do think, I wonder, like, if Hannah, because I think what we kept seeing from people, you see it from, like, Abby and even, like, Sky, is people trying to get someone to put a name out there, and, like, they both kind of ask Hannah, like, who would you vote for? And eventually she does tell Abby, like, Adam or Sky makes sense, but with Sky she was kind of, like, non-committal. I think she was maybe a little defensive going into that, knowing that she was probably going to draw some ire from Sky based on their history, But I wonder, like, this is all conjecture because we'll never know, but, like, I think trying to lay low is the right move from Hannah, but if she would have maybe a little bit more decisively been like, how about Isaac?
Yeah.
Or something, as
a
very similar, a guy in a similar position to her. I imagine maybe Adam and Sky are on board with that because, again, he just kind of flipped on them. I don't think, Abby or Emily, or not Emily, Elizabeth have any issues with that. Again, based on the last vote. And then from, as far as we know, like, Sam and Dan are cool with that too, so that really leaves just kind of Ty, and he'll probably fall in line too if that's what everybody else does. So I don't know.
And I think, it's like, did she know? I can't remember who was in the group where Isaac gives up that Sky has an idol. If she's able to go from there and use that to repair the relationship with Sky.
Yeah.
And at that point say, hey, he just outed that you have this idol. Let's work together and get him out.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, because I think probably what she did was, again, try not to create too many waves, which you can't really fault as a strategy in this place. It just didn't really work out. And it's
kind of reminiscent to David.
Yeah.
For me, of like, it's a swap versus merge, and kind of left. It's tough. Like, we can say all of this, but we weren't there.
Yeah.
And
it does kind of sound like the Hannah development was a little late in the cycle. Like, it seemed to be on Adam, maybe even Ty, and then towards the end is when it shifted to Hannah, At least that's how it seemed.
Adam, Ty? Mm-hmm. Ty has that.
Oh, yeah, never mind, not Ty. Adam or Sky, then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so let's talk about some of these other things. I think we've talked about Isaac already this episode, but, he comes into the episode. It's a tough week for Isaac between, the end of last week getting blindsided on the Emily vote. He comes into the beginning of this one really, like, struggling to put the pieces together of what happened. And then, he makes the decision to tell people about Sky's idol. Maybe that does help in the short term and, like, buy him around here. Maybe the others in that group think, oh, yeah, we don't need to vote for Isaac. Look, he's telling us information, But
I do think that worked with Sam, because then Sam went to him and said it's Hannah, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, very well could have been a part of that. But, it then isolates Adam and Sky against you again, so...
Yeah, the whole sequence of him apologizing to Sky just feel bad.
Funny. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
It's funny. Sorry.
We get the merge feast, which is not actually sponsored by Applebee's, but if you're listening, Applebee's, we'd love a sponsorship.
Margarita.
Yeah, I think that's the Outback though.
No, Applebee's are known for their margaritas.
But there was also a famous one. It was like the grilled pineapple margarita, and I think that was an Outback thing.
Sure.
I want to talk more about Skyforce. I believe I credit this to Anna. I think Anna was the first to say it and to coin the term, but it's said by several this episode. I just really got a kick out of them referring to Adam and Sky as Skyforce. I don't really know what it means, but it is a very funny name. It's up there, You've got a few great Survivor Alliance nicknames in the history of the show. Most of them are self-named. It's not often that others name it on your behalf. But I just really like that we're referring to them as Skyforce.
Yeah, I think it's fun. It's nice when somebody names you that and you don't try to make Skyforce happen.
Sure.
But Skyforce is happening. This might be not where you wanted to go with this, but I do see a lot in this episode of Adam just being worn down. And
he gets votes at every single tribal council except for the Anna one.
Yeah.
And that one's not necessarily emotionally easy.
No.
Either. So, yeah, he's been through the ringer at this point.
Yeah, totally. And he's in all of his confessionals, he's saying, again, it's this, why are we a threat? It's because we are such an...
They're visible.
Visible alliance. Such a tight pair, and by default, that's a threat.
Yeah.
But he's like... trying to say to other people... Mm-hmm. There's much bigger threats.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, starts to paint that narrative, and, what makes them threatening, is the, 2-for-1 nature of it. It's they're so clearly aligned, that if you get one, you're getting the other. But, to Adam's point, too, look at Elizabeth and Abby, look at the three of them plus Dan, or the three of them plus Sam. That's another equally tight group. They're just maybe less established or less perceived as so.
I think now that everybody knows that she is the idol too, right? It just elevates the idea or just the reality of the two of them. Mm-hmm. Right? Because you don't know, is Sky going to play it for Adam? Is Sky going to play it for herself?
Yeah.
They don't know about the second idol. Heck, Adam doesn't even know about the second idol.
Right.
So...
yeah, still totally a secret. Okay, the immunity challenge. This is our first individual challenge, I guess, outside of the split tribal council earlier, where you don't really see the first mechanic, but they've got golf balls in a little, half pipe that they're carrying in their hand that they have to transport across these obstacles. And then it's your ring toss. Dan gets out to a really big early lead, and then it's Ty, Hannah, and Adam that eventually are on his tail, and Ty does a good job with their ring toss to, make up the ground and ultimately win it. Yeah, I think that this, was a fun challenge. I think the players appreciated the movement of it, It's one that you do have to, run. There's some extra steps, and was happy with this one and how it turned out.
I was thinking earlier that an element of merge being easier, yes, but challenges, it gets a little bit harder.
Yeah.
And this is where it was helpful that we had people now having to stick around.
Right.
And Emily was a big help because she stuck around because her sister's still playing.
Right.
And so when there's these huge beams that we had to transport and just kind of setting up so many different pieces from here on out, it was helpful to have those extra people.
Yeah, you're right. It's like these early merge challenges where you've got to set up like 10 stations for a thing is a pretty big lift.
And because we wanted to make it fun, right? Like, want to have it not just be...
Yeah, don't want it to be lame.
Yeah. Go super fast. You also don't want it to take super long.
Yeah.
So it's kind of this trying to find the right middle.
A few more moments here I think worth touching on. I want to shout out Hannah's Cult of Personality line. I think that would have been the episode title if it wasn't Skyforce. And that, yeah, she's referring, I think, to Adam and Sky as like, you know, they're maybe being followed or focused on just because they're such loud, magnetic personalities.
I kind of saw, too, like, within cults, like, you can kind of be lulled into submission or, you know, keeping them around. And it's like they made it through another round.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
People know about it, but nothing's happening.
I want to also talk about, because we've talked about this prior to now too, this spot that Anna is in that in the new Green Tribe, she kind of operated in this middle ground. Like she was the swing vote on David and then the swing vote on Cody, you know. And I think that has maybe, you hear it from like Elizabeth, you hear it from Hannah, of some maybe like shared distrust towards her at this point where this is the downside to that middle position. You're in a powerful decision-making spot, but you're seen as like somebody who flip-flops or who can't necessarily be trusted. And so, you know, she's being included in these plans, but there's maybe a little bit of hesitation from different people about whether she's good for it, you know.
Especially with a player like Dan who
right
is thinking a couple steps ahead and saying, okay, let's stay green, and then she'll be the first to go.
Yeah.
And get her back. It literally says get her back for the David vote.
Yeah, that conversation between him and Elizabeth was interesting. I was like, one of the few kind of like reunitings at the merge that we have is between Dan, Elizabeth, and Abby. Nobody else really has like a meaningful alliance, I think, that they were separated from, other than Isaac with Cody and Hannah, but Isaac's distanced himself from that. And yeah, you get this big long talk where Dan's kind of like laying out his vision for the next few rounds, which is, you know, good to see from Dan, who's kind of been reeling here for a couple votes.
Mouth open.
Yeah. He gets one right this time, though. He votes for Hannah, which is the right vote. So
Good job, Dan.
good job, Dan. And then we have to reference Ty's kind of bearing of himself at Tribal here.
I just want to yell at him. I like on the couch, like, shut up.
Yeah, where he's like, yep, I guess I'm a pretty big threat now. They're probably going to target me. And it's like, why? Even when it was happening live, I was sitting there thinking, like, what? Why are you saying this?
Yeah,
Like,
I think I
there's
remember
no
that
upside
too.
For you here.
Being like, shh, 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 shh.
Right. So, you know, obviously no impact here, but and it very well could be something that everybody's already thinking, but he doesn't give them a reason not to. Anything else from this episode you want to chat about?
I don't think so, other than, I guess, behind the scenes a little bit, it does, like, we have to keep those on the jury, you know, if you want to talk about that and, like, your vision of they're allowed to, they remain on property, obviously, and
Right.
they are allowed to watch challenges.
Yep.
And then they attend tribal, and then they can't go near camp.
Right.
And whenever they entered the cabin, we turned off walkies that were not in earpieces.
Yeah.
So that they couldn't hear any production kind of talk.
Yeah.
And that was a little difficult at times, but I think it ended up being fine.
Yeah, we sequestered them as best we could. The big difference is that we bring them into challenges. I think that my thinking in doing that is that one, it's fun for them to see it.
Yeah.
And then also there's no harm, I don't think, in letting them see what happens at challenges. And maybe it even gives the jury a more balanced picture of what's going on in the game when they make their vote. You could make the argument that, in Survivor, because you're only seeing tribal council, maybe juries have an outsized emphasis on, idols and advantages and stuff being played because that's what they see. And they don't necessarily reward strong challenge performance because they never see it, Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of become the metagame of Survivor. And I don't know. It's fun to let them watch the challenges. It gives them something to do. And, why not, reward people who do well in challenges with letting the jury see it?
Yeah. They're also helping build the challenges at certain points. So it's kind of thank you.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to our Gertchie Award, Player of the Week awards. Again, already mentioned, several people say Skyforce this episode. That's the name. But Anna is the first to say it. I believe she comes up with the name. So she gets credit for it here. Who gets your Player of the Week award, Jen?
I don't really have a strong leaning this episode. I would like to point out that I loved Abby's confessional and thought about giving it to her just for that confessional, but that feels weird.
What was good about it?
I just feel like this is a pivotal moment for her where she's narrating really well.
Yeah.
Maybe I am going to give it to her. Where she's narrating really well her gameplay and how it's worked, right? And laying low, using her charm. She's made it out of a couple tribals where she could have easily been voted out, her or Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And made it through. And now she's okay, ready to play. And it's you've been playing.
Right.
And now you're playing even hard. It just...
Mm-hmm.
I just really loved what she said. I felt like she explained it really well. And it made me excited. So, the Gertchie Award I'm giving is to Abby.
Okay, interesting.
I would like to say, and this is gonna... I don't really have a good enough reason why I would have... I almost gave it to Adam. And he wouldn't have liked this, but it was almost out of pity.
Yeah.
I just feel bad for him. And also, he's hanging in there.
Hanging in there.
He's hanging in there. I just saw his face in one of the shots, and I was like, oh. He looks so tired.
Yeah, probably is.
And just feel bad for him. Hang in there, Adam.
Hang in there.
Maybe one day I'll give you an award.
Maybe. I am between Elizabeth and Sam. I think they both were the ones kind of pulling the strings or pushing the cart on targeting Hannah instead of Adam. I think I'm going to go Sam. Sam, I think, plays this well. He is, again, he's the one telling Isaac about the vote for Hannah. He's talking with Anna about that plan too, even though Elizabeth kind of breaks it to her. He is giving Sky the information about Isaac. Well, not that Isaac told the people about it. But and this is like a really small part of this that I think he did well. And he tells Sky, "Hey, everybody knows about your idol," but he doesn't
Out.
snitch on
Mm-hmm.
Isaac. So he keeps. We've seen this from Sam a couple times, like where he's keeping kind of both people happy by playing like an upfront game without oversharing.
Yeah.
I thought that was really smart. And yes, Sam wants, just like Elizabeth and Abby talked about last week, he wants to keep Adam and Sky in the game as targets. He wants to take Hannah out as he's seen her gameplay on the new Green Tribe. She says that she's a smart player, so he's successful in doing that. So I'm going to give mine to Sam.
Congrats, Sam. And we love the moment. We didn't talk about it, but when he like,
Yeah, last thing before Tribal, when he like walks up to Adam and Sky and is like, does the kind of, it's been chaos since you arrived. It was funny. It felt almost like a George Costanza moment. Anything else here before we wrap this up?
I don't think so. I'm excited to hear from Hannah,
Mm-hmm.
and so happy she played. Sad she went home.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, you'll hear from Hannah here shortly. In the meantime, remember the link to the email list is in the description of the episode. I really encourage you to follow that. We send news through that email. We also send episode notifications when episodes go live. It's really the best way to be notified of stuff going on with Outlast. And we're officially doing a season 2. So it's been in the works for a couple weeks now by the time that this comes out. And if you're watching or listening and are interested in, sticking around for season 2, just make sure you're subscribed to the channel, you're on the email list, and you'll be looped into everything going on this season and next. So, again, you'll hear from Hannah here shortly, and then we'll be back again a week from today. Okay, I'm here now with Hannah, who, of course, is the eliminated player from this episode.
Womp
So,
womp.
yeah, thank you for joining us, Hannah. Thanks for joining the show.
Sweet. Excited to be here.
Yeah.
I watched the episode and I thought like, wow, my face does not tell you what I'm thinking as much as I thought it would. Because there's moments where I'm like, I have such a vivid memory of like being like, hold on, what? And then being like, my face looks like it's, Tuesday.
It's good poker face, I guess.
Well, yeah, I guess it's better than I thought it was. I thought
Yeah.
it was pretty horrible.
Yeah,
But yeah,
better than expected, I guess.
yeah, I'll take it.
The kind of the first thing I've been asking everyone is just like, what has been your experience like watching the show, now seeing it played back to you on
Yeah.
TV, having like lived it prior? Are there any like big things that you saw that you didn't know were happening when you were out there that were like a shock to you? Any like
Mm.
just overall sentiments or feelings about, watching the game take
Yeah.
place now?
Yeah. Face. Wow. I spent the entire time out there with my hands on my face. Um, Spent a lot of time picking that apart. Um, I will say from this episode, I
Sure.
had no idea how close it was to being Adam.
Yeah.
I was just pushing Adam, thinking like maybe people will go with this, but nobody said yes. And so the
Hmm.
fact that anyone actually even considered it, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
they thought about it.
For sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
I
Yeah.
didn't even, in the moment, I was like, I know this is going to be tight. But yeah.
Yeah, that was a thing I was going to ask about from this episode is like, and you kind of already answered it, but it felt like it kind of shifted onto you near the end of the cycle. Like it wasn't you all the way. Yeah, it sounded like Adam's
Yeah.
name was coming up. Um, I'm trying to remember because I'm like editing a couple episodes ahead now,
Yeah.
but Ty has immunity here, right? So it can't be
Yes, he does.
Ty, but yeah, Adam's
But
name
they
comes
want it to
up.
be an orange.
hmm
Hmm.
I think maybe Isaac's name comes up a little bit after he's kind
Teensy
of,
bit.
yeah,
Yes, it does.
in a weird place. So
I think that it might have been Isaac, and then, I don't know. Like he
yeah,
might have been the target, and then it shifted onto me. But even that seemed pretty weak.
sure.
Um, and then it was like I just couldn't scramble. It's not caught on the episode, but like I walked around to different groups of people and said, I will vote the way you want me to.
hmm
How should I vote?
Yeah,
How should I vote? I am a vote. Which way do you want me to go? And
yeah, yeah,
nobody
yeah,
would give me a freaking thing. And that's why I
yeah,
was like, I knew it. I knew it.
yeah. I think, the part, the version of that I think we do see is you talking to Abby in particular, and I thought that was like a really strong pitch that you gave in that conversation.
Yeah,
And it even felt like maybe she was considering it, or it was at least good,
maybe.
misdirection if so. So yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
did you kind of have I know that you suspected your name being out there, but did you, if there was like another way that things were going to go, like did you have an idea of like, okay, this is the group that would vote with me here, yeah.
I knew that I was never going to get Adam and Sky to trust me again. That was
hmm
not in the cards. So my only thing that I felt like I could potentially even rally people around was going to be um, getting people to vote for Sky or Adam. For
Yeah,
some unknown reason, nobody wanted to vote for Sky, which is
yeah,
shocking to me. But nobody wanted to vote for Sky. And then they were like, Adam, I don't know,
right,
maybe. So I was like,
yeah,
sweet, let's jump on the Adam train, right? So that's why I
yeah.
was pointing people in that direction. But yeah, when I was talking to Abby in that conversation, I was like doing anything I could to just like point her in a different direction away from me, right?
Right.
So arguing like I have done nothing but show loyalty. And I've been on
Yeah.
the right side of every vote up until this one, right?
Yeah.
No vote had not gone my way at that point. So like I
hmm
don't know. I understand why it wasn't enough, but I do think everyone who comes on this podcast is going to say this, right? But like, I think that if I could have made that conversation in particular, or maybe a
hmm
couple of others, probably, because there were other options out there, but that one felt the most tangible or closest. Like, if
Sure.
I could have convinced her in that moment, then I could have gotten Liz. And if
Yeah.
the three of us could have stayed under the radar and worked together, we could have turned the game out in a remarkably different way.
It would have been cool. It would have been cool to see for sure. I think that like, yeah, the three of you are some of the like savviest, gameplay folks out there. So would have been sweet. What wasn't on the episode because it would have eliminated all suspense is that shortly
Mhm.
after you do walk away from Abby, Abby's like, damn, Hannah's playing really hard. We need to vote her out. So
No, oh, no,
yeah, yeah. So it didn't
no.
quite land, but
Damn,
um,
damn.
w one thing I want to talk about is, the first kind of half of the show of the season, one of the focal points is like you and Cody are
Yeah.
seen this whole time as masterminds, as like
Oh my God, you would have
villains,
seen
for lack of
thought
a
that
better
we
term.
had superpowers.
Yeah,
Like, yeah. And I was, it was giving me anxiety
yeah,
as we were out there. And you can tell because when we're standing off to the side of the challenge, and I said, and made the episode, I said,
hmm
we are toast if we end up in a tribe
yeah,
with Sky and Adam.
yeah, yeah.
And I legitimately meant that. And I said we intentionally because I wanted
hmm
other people to like feel the heat a little bit so we could
Yeah,
rally against them a little bit. And
yeah,
it
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
work.
To put
I
it
think
back on
everyone was
them.
just like, oh,
Did you
no.
like, yeah, do you have any sense of, other than perception is reality and people needing like a common enemy, like do you have a sense of
Yeah.
why, you and Cody's threat levels got so big so fast?
Yeah. I think that I think our threat levels would have been fine, to be
Hmm.
honest, if Sky hadn't had the if Sky didn't have the personality that she has, in that
Sure.
her reception of being the target of the votes, which, and this is all completely valid. Like, I don't think she
Yeah.
felt anything wrong in any way,
Right.
but receiving votes, some people would say, "Oh my God, like I need to like shrink myself down," right?
Sure.
But Sky does the opposite, right?
Uh-huh.
Sky gets bigger, right? I
Yeah.
think that's her defense mechanism is like, I'm gonna make myself a bigger personality.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then that big personality became ultimately pointed at me because Cody
Yeah.
was taking care of my other people, right?
Right.
And so I think that if Sky had it, if the world was different, no, but if
Yeah.
Sky's reaction to being voted out had been different, I think my threat level would have been completely fine.
Yeah. Or if she didn't win the Last Chance Island re-entry challenge and she's just out of the game.
Preach.
Yeah.
Yes.
But,
Yeah.
she did.
I needed
Credit to
Sky to
her.
be out of the game for longer than 10 minutes.
Yeah. It was a
Yeah.
quick turnaround. Yeah. Yeah. Did you do anything then? Well, also, I think interestingly, it felt like the people who rallied for it to land on you were more like, I think it was Sam and like Elizabeth that had a bigger hand in it than like Sky. And so
Yeah.
Sam in particular, having played with you on the swapped Green Tribe, I wonder like how much, I don't know, how much he maybe caught on to your strategic ability or whatever in that short time and gave him pause. So it's interesting because yeah, you say that, but I feel like Sky was maybe not the instigator necessarily on the vote
Right. And I
itself.
think you're right too. Let me expand a little. So
Sure,
Sky's big reaction was clear to everyone, right?
sure.
And so everyone else in the game is receiving the information of like, Sky and Adam do not like Hannah. Hannah's got to
Yeah,
go if you're talking to
yeah,
Sky
sure.
and Adam, right? And so it opened up the possibility for all these people, if they're talking to Sky and Adam, to say, "Hey, you want to go Hannah?" And they know they're on board and nobody has to question that, right? It's an
Yeah,
easy vote for them. It's an easy win. So I think when I talk about all these other people, like Sam would be one of these other people. He knew
yeah,
that if he got automatically two votes, yes, I'm on board. If he goes to Sky and Adam and says, "Hey, vote Hannah."
yeah, right.
Easy alliance
Yeah,
building, right? Also, and you heard Sam mention this a little bit when he talks about, well, Hannah got third in the challenge. I told him that.
yeah.
It's not on camera, but I told him that we were all
Interesting.
talking after the challenge, and he goes, "Yeah, somebody else was like right there with him." And I go, "Yeah, that was me." Oh my God, it was so
Whoops.
dumb. It was so
Whoops.
dumb.
Yeah,
But I
that
said
kind
it
of
to him.
like
Yeah,
seems to
I told
win
him.
Anna over too, who like Anna seems a little bit hesitant. They're a little bit like worried, is Anna going to be willing to vote you out? And
Anna
he
would.
mentions that
I
to Anna and she was like, "Yeah, I guess so."
I think Anna was, I don't know, maybe Anna will disagree. I think
Yeah.
my perception of Anna's game is that she's going to flip to the most advantageous alliance for her in the moment,
Yeah.
which is a
I
very
think that's
valid way to play the game,
I think that's
right?
fair. Yeah.
So it was a reason for Anna to vote for someone, and therefore she was like, "Yep, that sounds great," and it builds
Yeah.
trust for her with Sam.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
she was in an interesting, this is like the third round in a row where she's kind of playing like a middle spot and flipping
Yes,
back and forth, which is can be really effective.
but it's hard to
It
do.
can also, it is hard to do because eventually people start to look at that person and say,
Yeah, they're like, "Oh,
none of
well,
us
I want that
actually
one."
can work with him. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
One other thing specifically I want to ask about, again, going back to the Cody of it all, was there like any sort of, especially after his elimination, a point where you kind of tried to like shed that guilt by association at all that
yeah.
maybe we didn't see? Yeah.
Yeah. I think I only actually saw it one time,
Uh-huh.
but there was a point where I was like, "Oh yeah, that was Cody. Cody did
Yeah,
that." I would just went along with it. Like I didn't
right.
need that. I didn't push it. I didn't. Not me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and I said that a few times, but clearly it didn't sway anybody.
Didn't quite land.
And you. Um, but yeah. And here's the crazy part. So I talked to Cody afterwards, obviously. And
Hmm.
when he left, because he left the like filming location after he was voted out, when he left thinking that it was me.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
thought that it was me. And that's
yeah,
when I talk about like, oh, my face wasn't as obvious as I thought it was. That's what I'm talking
yeah.
about because he gets voted out and you could see my face and I'm just like, huh. When in my head, I'm like, oh my God, everything's on fire. What do I
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
do?
yeah.
I
Funny.
need to pee. Like I was like, I
Yeah.
need to get away. But
Yeah,
that's what
when
that was. That was me freaking
right,
out and trying to hold it in and doing it too well to the point where he didn't even get it.
that's really funny. Yeah, right when Cody was voted off and we did the like exit, post uh end game, whatever,
Yeah.
post game confessional thing. He was like going through it and trying to like crunch the numbers. And yeah, he was like he asked if he could read the votes because he wanted to analyze the handwriting. And he was
That
like, yeah, that's
checks
Hannah.
out.
That's Hannah. Hannah flipped. Hannah flipped.
No,
I was
I
like,
really didn't.
and I didn't know at that point. I didn't see who cast the votes. So I was like, maybe, I don't know.
Mm-mm. It was
Yep.
not me. It was
Very
Ty.
funny.
It
It
was
was
Ty.
tied.
No.
Um, anything else? Any other like highlight moments you've had watching the show that you want to just talk about?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have one in particular. So you know how like after something, sometimes like, or maybe this is just my brain, but like sometimes like a thing that someone said or a thing that you saw just kind of sticks with you.
Hmm.
The thing for me that stuck with me after all of this is we're in the challenge and you're narrating it and you're like, Ty is running across the beam and,
Yeah.
Dan dropped the ball and Sam is doing that and whatever, right?
Right.
There was a point where I almost completely laid myself out jumping over
Right.
that little rope. And you
Yeah.
go, Hannah almost beefs it. That is what stuck in my mind. You saying Hannah almost beefs it.
That's great.
You were
That's great.
completely correct, but that's the thing.
That's very funny.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
glad that's the lasting imprint of this whole
Oh yeah.
experience.
Yeah. And it took me some time afterwards to like feel okay. Like
For sure.
afterwards, everyone was like talking to each other. Like there was this like big thing in Discord going around. There's these
Yep.
group chats, there's phone calls happening, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And I found myself like, I was like, I need to just like, I need to not be in this for a minute. Just, I need to like
Hmm.
come to terms with this by myself and then I
Yeah.
can come back to it.
Yeah.
And I was angry afterwards.
Sure.
Like,
Totally. Yeah.
I don't feel angry anymore. I'm just like,
Yeah.
whatever. This is what happened. It was fun to play. But it took me a long time to get to the point of being able to say, it was just fun to play.
Yeah. I,
Yeah.
totally
I was
valid. And
surprised
me,
how
I
long
mean,
that
me
took.
too. Like, I think that's a common thing that we've heard from a lot of people is like, but the emotional impact, whether it's
Mm.
something like that or the built up like self, I don't know, guilt or whatever, and like lying to people, the like buildup of that, like a bunch of
Mhm.
different like big emotional reactions that I didn't anticipate from like a weekend version of the game. But it's
Oh, yeah.
yeah, totally there. And if I were you too, I mean, you've played softball with me and I'm pretty competitive. So I think I would
Yeah.
also need a little bit if I were to do something like this and lose. So
Oh,
uh
I think you'd get real wrapped up in it.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe
Um,
someday.
yeah. I mean, and just I'll put it out there on the record, you know, I would like a season two and I would like it to be the same cast, um,
Okay.
to see what else happens.
Interesting.
Because
It would be very
now we all
interesting.
know each other. Now we can all
Yeah.
clock it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Um,
think I think Cody has a hard time avoiding a first boot if it's the same the entire cast again.
I agree. Well, I think the individual who ultimately won
Sure.
whose name I will not say.
Yeah,
Um, I think they will have issues being not
yeah,
being at first boot as well.
100%,
But
100%.
that's
Yeah,
fine because neither of those people are me.
yeah. There you
Um,
go. Yeah, yeah. I
I
should also
yeah,
say you're the Queen of Ponderosa, so the
the
first member of the
queen,
jury.
the
Yeah,
queen.
very
Yes,
exciting.
yes. Yeah, I don't think anyone really cared what I had to say by the time they got to Ponderosa. But yeah, I was like, hey, welcome. We're here.
Yeah, yeah. So you're no longer in the running to win, but your time in Outlast is not over, as everybody will be seeing you on the jury
Hmm.
from here on out.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm also interested to know, and maybe I just need to go back and listen to these podcasts more closely. Um, who feels guilty about voting people off?
Yeah, I think there's like I'm trying to. I know that Abby has this feeling towards the end of her game where it's kind of like a buildup
Oh
of just
yeah.
like the compounding effect. Um, I know David, even going to a few tribal
Yeah.
councils that he did, he like felt bad every
Can I
time.
speak on
So
David real quick?
sure, yeah, yeah.
All right.
Because what we said in David's episode is like one of our responses was like, I feel like Hannah was kind of offering you a bone here, and maybe he just missed it.
Yeah, yes, and I can expand.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so with David, there's this whole conversation, and I think I don't know, maybe it was in the episode, I don't know. It's the right before he gets voted off. We're having a conversation, and he's like,
On the swing,
listen,
right?
yes, on the swing. Yes,
Yeah,
they're on the swing.
yep.
Yeah. He's like, if you flip over to green and we get one of your orange people out, then you can ride with green once we get to the merge.
Hmm.
And I said, or he said, if you don't vote me, like if he doesn't become the boot, then
Hmm.
um then I can ride with green once the merge happens.
Yeah, yeah. Because
And
their
what
target
I
was on Cody at that point.
yes,
Yeah.
what I don't what I was trying to say, and I probably didn't articulate it very well, and clearly he didn't pick up what I was saying, is
Sure.
that I couldn't take I couldn't go back to my fellow Orange Tribe people and say, don't vote David because it
Hmm.
benefits me.
Yeah.
I needed him to give me more to sell to them.
Yeah.
And that's what I was not receiving. And I don't
Yeah.
know if that was intentional or what, but I don't
Hmm.
think that he quite understood that I was saying, I will work with you, but I need you to give me something to sell it
Yeah.
on.
No, I felt the exact same way watching that back. That's how it read to me as well. And so whether it was just a signals crossed sort of thing or what,
Yeah.
ultimately it didn't play out that way. So,
And in conversations afterwards, we've had that same conversation multiple times.
hmm.
And I still don't know if I'm articulating it well enough. Like
I mean,
maybe he's getting it. I don't know.
it's tricky. It's tricky stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
okay, great. Any other last thoughts here or things you want to touch on before we wrap this up?
Um, the idol that I carried around for
Yes.
hours.
Yes. I'm glad you
So
brought that
dumb
up.
of me. It was so
One of my
stupid.
favorite moments of the whole season is that episode 3, when Ty plays that, and like you and Cody like lose your minds at Tribal Council. And then, yeah, when you're like, I carried that thing around for
Yes.
hours, is
That was
very
a
funny.
I can't control my face moment
Yeah.
for sure. Because I was like,
Yeah.
like there's in the episode, like I just kind of stare like with my mouth open for like a minute. And
Yeah.
that was like, I've lost control. I like I can't get words out.
Yeah.
Like there's
It's,
nothing coming out of my mouth. Because I really did. I carried it around forever. And I even clocked there was a piece of tape on the back. And I remember
mm,
thinking, like, why does this one have tape on it?
yeah.
Weird. Huh.
Funny.
And I just put it in my bag and moved along. And then later, I just took it out of that's how we got it. He didn't get in my bag to get it.
Yep.
He just I took it out and tossed it on the ground and was like, this is dumb.
Yeah. Yeah. He was saying something like, oh, we should all telling everybody that we should all just take him out and look at him again or whatever. And yeah.
Yeah. And I want to say that I even put it back in my bag after that. I don't remember exactly, but I remember No one had to force me to take that out of my bag. That was
Totally.
fully me doing that. I did it.
Well, you had no idea that it was
I
anything.
had
So,
no idea. And I should have thought harder about, we're all spending all this time looking for the idol and no one seems to have found anything.
hmm
But I just stopped my thought process there.
Yeah.
It should have been like, oh, that's because someone
So
has it.
maybe, yeah, right.
Like I didn't,
That's good.
that last sentence never happened.
Funny, funny. Yeah,
Oh,
I love
yeah.
that storyline. It's one of my favorite parts of the whole season, I think.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, I guess I'm glad I'm a highlight. Um, because I'm glad I'm a highlight rather than like a
Yeah,
dud.
you're not a dud.
Um, oh, and the other thing that didn't make it is the tree mail.
Right, right.
Yeah, I
But people
totally,
people reference it obviously, but
which is
we just
hilarious
never
to me.
saw it.
I love
It is
it.
funny.
I was like, oh, this is it. Hide it. And I never even clocked that like someone would view that as a strategic move.
Yeah,
When I pulled it out and I was like, this is the
yeah,
tree mail. It never even occurred to me that someone would be like, oh, she's playing strategically because she stole a
right.
tree mail.
I just
Like,
think like
didn't even think
that
it.
early and people going off of like the smallest thing is like, any little detail that they can latch onto. But
Yeah,
yeah, it was funny. Again, Anna's like confessional early on where she's talking about
she clocked
like
it.
you with the tree veil and Emily's sister and yada yada yada
Yes.
is funny to me too.
Yes. Yes. Maybe season two, maybe that's the twist is that it's one big tribe and then it splits
Mm,
into two
interesting.
randomly. Like it goes
That would be
backwards.
that would be interesting. We'll have to noodle on it.
Yeah. I'm here for season two. And
Excellent.
I think I've told you. Please let me be involved
Yeah, you
in
got it.
some capacity. I don't care what
Yeah,
it is. I just want to see it.
yeah, you got it. And it is happening. Season 2 is
Yeah.
happening. So excited. There's
We have an ETA.
it's gonna be September 11th weekend in
Okay.
2026. So
Noted.
yeah. Yeah, there's like an interest form out and applications will be out later in the spring.
Sweet. Cool.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah. Did you
Okay,
send me that interest form?
absolutely.
Did you
It's in
send it to me?
Discord. It's in Discord. But
Oh,
if
yeah, because we've established that I have so much access to Discord
yeah, your Discord's apparently broken.
just for me.
I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I think that'll do it then. So thank you for listening to the listeners. Again, remember to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss new episodes. And the link to the email notification form is also in the channel description. So make sure to click that and you'll get Outlast news, like news of the second season, and episode notifications there too. So thanks for listening, and we'll be back. We'll be back a week from today with our next episode next Monday. Thanks.